Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the Seattle Seahawks' recent game, a tough 42-29 road loss in prime time to the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions are not only one of the top teams in the NFC, but also in the entire NFL. But here's the thing. Even though the Seahawks lost, there were actually a lot of positives to take away from it. Let's start with Geno Smith. He had a career night, throwing for 395 yards, the most in his career. Right now, he's leading the league in passing yards, with just under 1,200 yards so far this season. And how about the Seahawks' run game? They've been scoring rushing touchdowns like we haven't seen in a while. Plus, Jason Peters was just signed, which is a great move for the team. Honestly, my only concern with the offense is the health of the offensive line. The talent and coaching are there. Ryan Grubb has done an amazing job with this group. If the offensive line stays healthy, the Seahawks offense can be dangerous. Defensively, it's a bit of a different story. It's kind of funny because both Seahawks and Lions fans are upset about their defenses, even though the Lions just won by a wide margin. The Seahawks are only 1 month into the season and are missing 6 starters on defense. Sure, they gave up 42 points, but when you're that banged up, it's tough to expect much else. And let's give credit where it's due. Ben Johnson, the Lions' offensive coordinator, is a genius. He knows exactly what he's doing. Seattle is in its first season under a rookie head coach and a new coaching staff. With so many injuries, it's tough to blame the defense for everything. By the way, if you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more NFL updates. We post a ton of Seahawks videos, win or lose. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. That would mean the world to me. One thing I've been stressing about the Seahawks is their depth. This team, when fully healthy, has one of the best rosters in the league, especially on defense. And the best part? They're young. But depth can only do so much when you're missing more than half of your starters. It doesn't matter if you're the Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, or Seahawks. If you're missing that many players, it's going to be hard to win. These Seahawks-Lions games have become electric, almost like NFC championship level matchups. Geno Smith and Jared Goff are always lighting up the scoreboard in these shootouts. In my opinion, these two teams are among the best in the NFC, no matter their records. Yes, the defense struggled, especially in the secondary, but that's because they couldn't generate much pressure. They still have guys like Jarran Reed, Draymond Jones, and top pick Derek Hall, but the key stat for me, Jared Goff didn't throw a single incompletion. That's historic. It's never happened before in the NFL. Even though Goff only had 18 pass attempts, no incompletions, that's a problem that Seattle has to address, even if it's just short, easy throws. Now let's focus on the positives. After 4 games, Geno Smith is leading the NFL in passing yards, completions, attempts, and first downs. He's also second in completion percentage at an impressive 72.3%. While his touchdown to interception ratio sits at 4-4, he's still playing incredibly well. It's clear that Geno is on the rise. After being named the comeback player of the year 2 years ago, he continues to improve. Last season, the Seahawks struggled with offensive efficiency, which led to them falling off the NFL media's radar. Geno only threw 20 touchdowns last year, but there's much more to his story than those numbers show. Even with 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this year, he's proving himself. And let's not forget, the Seahawks are 3-1, and that's what really matters. Kenneth Walker returned from his oblique injury and had a great game, rushing for 80 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 12 carries. Geno also contributed with 38 yards on the ground. However, I'd love to see more from Zach Charbonnet in the running game. With the Seahawks trailing by 2 touchdowns after the first quarter and 21-7 at halftime, it's tough to establish a running game when you're playing catch-up. There were some frustrating moments too, like DK Metcalf's fumble, which changed the game's momentum. Both Seahawks and Lions fans were talking about it, And it's a reminder that these mistakes can't happen in big games. If this were a playoff matchup, that fumble would be a huge problem. And Tyler Lockett was also affected by an offensive pass interference call that felt unfair. But all things considered, this was still a solid loss. The Lions have one of the best offenses in the NFL, and last night's performance showcased that. Just look at that pass from Jared Goff to Jahmyr Gibbs, an example of how strong their offense is. On the defensive side, the Seahawks were missing 6 starters, and injuries to players like Julian Love, Leonard Williams, and others didn't help. Sure, the run defense wasn't great, and having no incompletions against them is unacceptable, but it's still only week 4. This was a battle between 2 really good teams in an offensive shootout, and I believe the Seahawks can sort out their defensive issues in the coming weeks. Next up, they face a friendly opponent in the New York Giants, and I expect the Seahawks defense to bounce back, no matter who's on the field. That's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe for daily NFL content. Seahawks fans, I want to hear your thoughts, good or bad, down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days.